Hello, thanks for being here. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My friends and we are going to a new place in Tokyo. I haven't been here before. There's a bunch of things we'd like to do. So as always, I'm going to take you along for the journey. I've been feeling kind of refreshed and productive the last few days. I've been getting a lot of stuff done, which is good. And I know that's not how I should be measuring my performance creatively, but sometimes it just feels good to get stuff done and to be actually okay. I've been talking a bit about consistency and building that up, but I think it's also very important that when you're being consistent, you have a good deal of resilience as well. There's sometimes extended periods of time where the things that you do and the effort that you put in might not seem worthwhile. But at the end of the day, that time always comes to an end and you will get that spark back. And that's also something that I've realized recently, or rather that's been reaffirmed to me. And what's funny about getting a new sense of direction is that I've been kind of distancing myself from the artists online that I look up to and that I've been positively influenced by in the past. I just don't really care. Like, some of their new releases are coming out and I don't care in terms of music production. Recently there are a couple of songs, one of them which is coming out really well. I'm excited for that one. The other one, I think I can work my way around it, but it's going to take a bit of trial and error, I think, because it's not the instrumental that I'd usually produce. And I am telling myself that these songs are demos, they're not fully finished products, because at the end of the day I do want to get a producer that can do things that I couldn't even dream of. Oh well, I could dream of them, but it just take a lot of time to get better and develop those skills. And there are a lot of things that I'd rather prioritize. I think for me right now, there's a lot of things I want to do and a lot of things that I should be doing, but at the same time, I've got to make a priority for the things that actually matter, because I can still have a great degree of creative control over my production, even if I'm not necessarily the one who's behind the computer. So yeah, I'm just grateful that I have the time at the moment to focus on the things that I think are important and I think will develop my skills and give me a little bit of a head start. And I'm going to remember, even though the journey ahead's going to be very long, it's going to be very tough, and when it all feels like it's useless, it's just something that I've got to get over. Anyway, enough of that, let's go.
And I ignored the meteor. Whoops, I got what I deserve. You claim regret, yet you forget the meaning of that word. I guess it was unluckily a little extreme. Now I can see your eyes to me. I'd hate to spell it out, so it'll be like the dinosaurs before I tell you why. Before I tell you
Cool. I just recorded a couple of covers. One of them went well, the other one maybe not so crash hard, but we'll see if I can salvage it. I'm not feeling as on top of the moon as I was last time, but we push through, we keep going, and all that jazz. I'm thinking I have about 3 weeks left in Japan at the moment, which is kind of a daunting prospect. I haven't quite got as much done as I wanted to, but I've definitely made a start, so that's always a good thing. Today I was sort of thinking just how different it is being creative inside and outside academic institutions, because I feel like going through school and to some extent through uni, it wasn't expected that I would create, write, make, produce incredible world-class pieces of creative work, even if it's not like song writing and song production. I suppose that aspect of things being a work in progress and honing your skills and getting better, because that's the point of being there. It feels like I'm meant to perform on a world stage first class now, otherwise it's just not going to work. And I know that's not realistic because I definitely am still honing my skills and getting better, and that's kind of the point of everything. And I know that one day I will break through and find my footing, but in the meantime it's just a little bit hard when I'm effectively going against how the world works and being selfish in my pursuit for a life that suits my creative needs. I've got no choice but to keep on going. Hopefully you'll join me for the ride, or you'll look back at this and think, he was onto something. Anyway, just what I was thinking. The more that I spend my remaining time in Tokyo, the more I'm starting to realize that there might be some preconceptions that are just wrong, or just that don't work for me. I was a little bit annoyed that I couldn't really write as many songs as I wanted to. That might just be because my feeling of stability hasn't been too crash hot. And it made things kind of worse when I was thinking, oh, the times that you're not feeling too great are the times when all the best songs usually come out and when you do your best creative work. Because recently I've been hearing some artists talk about how, oh, they've written X many songs when they were in such a bad place and weren't feeling that great. But then the other day, actually it was yesterday, I watched an Emma Chamberlain podcast. Don't know much about her, just know that she's a YouTuber, she has a coffee brand, and she has a banging podcast episode. It was about her doing her best work when she is not pressured for anything. I think she was talking a little bit about how when you're pressured with deadlines to complete certain things, it puts a stress on the actual creativity, and that makes you think badly about the work that you've done. And she said that pretty much everything in life, when you have that feeling of confidence and when your ego's in a pretty good place, things are just better. And that kind of hit me because I was like, usually when I've been doing my best work, it's when I'm feeling on top of it. And when I'm not feeling pressured because of the deadlines that I've imposed on myself. But I am at a little bit of a crossroads in my thinking, because I made a video about how I was going to sort of structure and time block the month that I had left in Tokyo to do my creative things. But I was just feeling that structure was giving me a lot of pressure to not fail with things. Even though I said that if I fall behind, I'd adjust things, I feel like when you put it down like that, it's kind of hard not to. The thing that she said helped her in her own projects was that she got ahead of the work, so that by the time it had come out, she was already working on other things and had other things going on. So there wasn't much of a pressure, and she came to the work at her own time when she wanted to, which I think is a big thing, because sometimes, especially because my ego wasn't in a good place, sometimes I woke up and I was like, actually, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to do any particular thing, and based on the schedule that I put, that was clearly something that I had to do that day, which I don't think was very productive. So I'm not quite sure what to do from here on out, because I think it's good to have some sort of direction, but I don't think clear deadlines are good. Or maybe I put them really far in advance, but then maybe I won't get around to doing the thing. But then maybe I wouldn't get around to doing it if I didn't have any sort of future deadlines anyway. But I think having the freedom to come to things when I'm ready, I think that'll be pretty good to alleviate the pressure that I put on myself to do things and do them well. Yeah, I do actually think having some other sort of structure like part-time work will be beneficial, so I can leave things that I'm working on and come back to them with a renewed sense of drive. I think. Anyway, my friend from Australia who lives in Osaka, they're coming to visit for a couple of days, so it'll be good to kind of put everything on hold. Kind of nervous because when they leave, it means I kind of really have to start looking for new homes for some of the things I have here, because I can't take everything back as much as I want to. Anyway, that's all for now.
Romantic season, perfect reason to snatch me into your heart. Wait, that madness, those waving banners, I left you back at the start.
I just spent, I think, about 30 takes of one song trying to get the best cover that I could. And I know a lot of creative people are perfectionists, including myself, and I also know that you need to step back and let some of the art shine through the imperfections, I should say. But at what point is it too imperfect? I feel like sometimes there's a fine line, especially when you're trying to pull off something that's a little bit challenging or more challenging than you're used to. At what point do you have to pull the plug on, oh yeah, that's too many imperfections? Because I feel like previous covers, I've been like, oh, this one thing was a little bit off or a little bit funky, so I should do another take. But for this one, it was kind of just trying to survive the whole thing and then being like, okay, well, there's a bunch of imperfections, but am I okay with that? Should I do another take? And it took me about 2 hours to record these 30 different takes. So I'm hoping there's a good one, and I'm hoping that when I record some backing vocals, it will hide how out of breath I am. I think it's also kind of hard to have good breath support when you're sitting down and playing guitar, like a little bit hunched over. Maybe it's a posture thing, maybe I just haven't learned how to breath support while sitting down, but I don't know. I've kind of started a trend where once I finish recording a cover, I get on here and yap about something. And I think it's a good way to, like, you know, bang 2 in 1. But it got to a point today where I was like, this is too much. I should probably tell you, the reason why it takes me so long to put these vlogs out is because I have a lot of content backed up already, and also I want to get things done in advance in a similar way that Emma Chamberlain said. Anyway, if you're one of the people in my share house who heard me recording the same song for 2 hours, sorry. I better go have some lunch and then get cracking with this cover, because I want to put it out today. It's a song that's quite popular at the moment because it just came out, and on one hand I'm kind of like, do I really want to join the plethora of singer-songwriters who are covering this song? Anyway, see you later.